Meghan plots to push Harry into the abyss for money. Two narcissists deserve to be dipped in boiling oil. Hello and a very warm welcome to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. I, like a lot of other people out there, initially saw Harry as this idiot who was led astray by a crazy, manipulative woman. And at this point, most people would now say that Harry is just as guilty as Meghan is. They really sing off the same hymn sheet, don't they? I don't have a single doubt in my mind that Meghan is manipulative, but scheming really implies forethought as well as planning. But see, most narcissists are not very good at forethought or planning, including Meghan. The thing about narcissists is that they usually do not understand what they are on a conscious level. They're hardwired in their unconscious, instinctive thought processes to go after their needs at all times, except when they're sleeping, of course. They have a need for control. They've got to control their environment, the people in their environment, etc. And they do that to get fuel, to enhance their facade or their image, and also to get some material benefits for themselves. But typically, they do most of this on a need-to basis. It's just an hour-by-hour reaction, and they're basically on autopilot all the time. So the end result is there is a lot of contradictory behaviors, and there's a lot of hypocrisy. See, the problem with narcissists, well, there are lots of problems, but one problem is that they don't really understand how to calculate for collateral consequences. And on a regular basis, they do get caught out. At least a good schemer knows how to cover their own butt. But Meghan will just try to convince you that that was not her butt, that it's the media trying to make her butt look bad, that Catherine has a fat butt, or maybe she's going to say that only misogynists are going to look at women's butts in the first place. And right now, she is endorsing some free wives for homeless Eskimos. I think you get the picture. Meghan is intrinsically motivated to get as much money, status, admiration, and power as she possibly can. And that's because she truly believes that she is so special and that she deserves anything she wants. And anyone who challenges her is ghosted at best, or they might be attacked. Now, Harry had everything that Meghan wanted in the beginning, but her ascent to superstardom was prevented by a hierarchy as well as their flunkies. And it's not like Meghan can successfully ghost or ignore the royal family or attack them while Meghan is still one of them. So instead, she decided it was best to just withdraw to get control, in her mind at least. Compete at a distance, attack at a distance, and sell a narrative of victimhood to everyone who will listen. That's really not scheming. For a narcissist, that's basically the same thing as breathing. Now, Harry, I do not believe is actually a narcissist. He does have some traits, though. His empathy extends about as far as Meghan and the children at this moment. Meghan, on the other hand, never felt an ounce of empathy for anyone, and that is exactly what makes her a narcissist. Meghan is incapable of feeling compassion, unless, of course, maybe it's after a mass shooting and there's a camera crew following, and then she can fake it pretty well. Now, one thing Meghan and Harry do share is entitlement. They are certain of their entitlement. What Meghan wants, Meghan has to get, and Harry's going to try his best to deliver. He might need a little help from Meghan, of course, but that's no problem. If you ask me, Harry's book is the worst of their miscalculations because it has made Harry an object of ridicule and derision, and that is going to make them a lot less appealing to sponsors. Now, the Netflix saturation with their amazing love story, interwoven with their pity parties, the smearing, and the blatant facade management, with no new content, had already led to people looking at them in a much more critical light. Archetypes also drew a lot of criticism for using a platform to settle scores and throw in a bit of shade while she was at it. And she did the same thing with that cut interview. And of course, Oprah divided people right down the middle. Meghan and Harry got a lot of fans because people believed their claim that the royal family was racist. The problem is, of course, they are not. Oh, but yeah, I forgot. They never said that. The media made the whole story up. My goodness, the two of them had over 2 years to correct that narrative, but they didn't bother doing that. And Harry is still whining that the family never corrected stories about him and Meghan. He claims that he was sacrificed on Camilla's PR altar, but he sacrificed his entire family on Meghan's. Even their hypocrisy is somewhat hypocritical, and that's because they use another trick that narcissists are very familiar with. They are masters at compartmentalization. Neither one of them is able to see shades of gray. You're either for them or you're against them. They have some opinions and they don't tolerate any countering opinions. Reconciliation can only come about by capitulation of the royal family, of course. They've got to win, and they've got to be seen winning. Now, they can be wronged, but they can never, ever be wrong, unless it's an intentional concession to a weakness to appear contrite and to appear human. Don't you know, when you cannot defend the indefensible, you can just deflect, distract, and disarm. Harry also seems to allow his emotions to completely take over, and that might be because he's not all that bright. If he feels jealous, he believes it's because somebody is making him feel jealous, so his emotional response is the product of something intentional. When people discuss their truth, it's supposed to be their own reaction to something that happened to them. It's not about blaming somebody else or making assumptions about somebody else's intent or motivations. For example, if somebody showed off a fancy new watch that they had treated themselves to with a bonus they got from work, and you felt a little bit jealous because, well, you only got a cheap watch and your job doesn't pay very well, then your truth would be that you felt jealous. Now, it might be the truth that the person with the watch was showing it off to make you upset, or it could be they were just proud of their new purchase and they're proud of being successful and they were excited to show off their reward. Or it could be that they're just a little insensitive, flashing their wealth in front of people who are not so wealthy. But saying he only showed me that watch to make me feel jealous is not your truth. That's just blame. And Harry does it all the time because he's such a petulant brat. And Meghan does it as an attack by suggesting the other person should be more mindful of their bragging. Harry's emotional reasoning and his sense of entitlement are a very dangerous combination. That's how we get this snowflake idea that they're entitled not to be upset. Now, Meghan has really driven Harry off a cliff, but he was willing to go. And as a brand that people are going to want to buy into, I think the two of them are finished. Maybe they still have some things left to say, but nobody wants to hear it anymore. I expect that Meghan will soon distance herself from him, and she's going to rerun the story of their joint escape from this toxic family as her solo escape from a toxic marriage. It's just going to be another big pity party, more victimhood, and more attacks. I also cannot remember her name, but there was an English journalist who was narrating the lives of Prince William and Harry, and she talked about the sibling rivalry between the two brothers, but she said it was mostly down to Harry. She said that Harry would sneak into their mother's room and cuddle in the mornings, and Harry said many times that he wanted Diana all to himself. He sure was a mommy's boy. Now, she allowed this behavior to continue, knowing good and well that Prince William's path would be a lot more disciplined than Harry's would. The important takeaway here is that Harry has probably always been like this to a certain degree. He has always held on to this anger, this resentment, and this jealousy. And now he's got Meghan Markle, the narcissist, in his life to emulate his late mother, so it's no wonder that Harry has been set loose. I don't know where all of this chaos is going to end, but now more than ever, Harry needs somebody to take good care of him. He needs to get away from Meghan. I don't see any reconciliation possible between the brothers until Harry is, in a sense, reprogrammed. Harry and Meghan tried their best to destroy William's marriage to Catherine and that of their close friends too. And both of these families have little children. There is no coming back from something like that. And on top of that, they have tried to destroy the reputation of William and Catherine too. I mean, William and Catherine are not a couple of druggy liars in serious trouble. There is just no point of contact. Now, Meghan's been laying really low lately while Harry is making an absolute fool out of himself. So this could be her way of setting him up for her exit plan. And you, what do you think about Harry and Meghan? Please continue to discuss them with us below in the comments section. Remember to like and share my video with anybody else who would enjoy it if you think it's helpful. And don't forget to support us more and more by subscribing to Kate Middleton and the Queen News team. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye, and I'll be back to see you all tonight.